Hey, it's Derek Lane with the Fast Lane Podcast for Success. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Hey, I got an idea for a subject here that I wanted to tackle, and not really sure about the title, but I think I'm going to go with it anyway. The title for tonight's podcast is going to be how to undumb. Yeah, that's right. How to undumb yourself. That sounds kind of negative. It kind of sounds rude or mean, maybe. Don't really mean it to be that way. So let me get into it. Explain what I mean. The title of how to undumb. I think a lot of times that we hold ourselves back with mental limitations because maybe we feel dumb. We get in certain situations where we don't want to be, ridiculed or made fun of because we may be perceived as being dumb. And you may say, "Well, I'm not dumb. I can handle anything." Hey, there's still something in the back of your brain that says, "Don't do this. Don't put yourself out there. Don't put yourself out there because if you're wrong, man, it's going to exploit you. If you're wrong, people are going to see you for what your shortcomings are." I say to hell with that. If you're honest, if you're an honest person and honest with yourself and honest with other people, and you can admit that you don't know everything, no one knows everything. So get over yourself and the idea that you have to know everything. You don't. You can just be very honest, just like that. You get into a conversation. You may go to a social event, party, whatever, and you're in a social event, and people are talking, and they're in the subject that maybe you're not familiar with, you're not comfortable with, and you're asked a question. Oh my Lord, is that the end of the world? You're asking a question of a subject you don't know anything about, and you're going to be perceived as dumb. Look, honesty. All you have to do is say, "Hey, look, I'm not too in tune with that. That's probably not my area of expertise. I could probably be taught a few things in this area. So let me refrain from volunteering any information, and let me just listen to the experts." Okay, that's how you handle things like that. Well, just be honest. That's not my area of expertise. Because number one, you do have an area of expertise. Everybody does. I think it was Andy Warhol that coined the phrase, "Everybody has 15 minutes of fame." Everybody's famous for 15 minutes. Well, I think everybody has an area of expertise. I think everybody has a certain area that they can talk about with great pride and great knowledge and confidence that I know what I'm talking about. Listen to me. It could be the most minuscule thing. That's okay. You still have an expertise in something. You may be an expert in a lot of things. Who knows? The other thing is how to become undumb is because a lot of people will shelter themselves. They will turtle themselves into staying in their core group and not moving forward into another group, or out of their group, I should say, because it's comfortable where I'm at. The people that I know. They like me, I like them. I'm accepted, and there's no harm there. I can't be hurt because my people like me. Well, look at your surroundings and where you're at right now. If you stay within your group, and I'm not putting down your group, you may have a great group. You may be in a great place. All I'm suggesting is that if there's an area you want to grow in, that you want to branch out in, you've got to do it. You've got to branch out with other people. To learn and grow is the journey of life. If we stay stagnant, and I've talked about, having you come home and you're watching your favorite TV shows night after night after night after night, and that's just what you do. You're not learning, you're not growing. You're just living in your shell. I think true happiness is exploration. You set your mind free. Allow your mind to learn things. A lot of psychologists will tell you that to be truly happy, you've got to have a hobby. Well, there's some truth to that, I guess. But what does a hobby do? A hobby is something that you get involved with. It's out of your, it's not work. Nobody has a hobby. Hey, I take my work home at night and I make it a hobby. No, BS. You don't. Nobody does. A hobby is something totally different. It's something that you learn, you become good at, you become an expert at, and you can show it off, whether it's train collecting or stamp collecting or learning to play the ukulele. I don't care what it is. It's a hobby, and that's what you train yourself to do. Is something outside the norm. Well, why don't you make your hobby learning from other people, learning from folks that you normally wouldn't interact with. And I'm not saying you have to go out and be cozy and get new friends. That's not it. Your friends are your friends. Keep them as your friends. But you can certainly introduce new things to your friends because you've experienced new things. And that keeps relationships going. Most times when people talk about relationships, they talk about husband and wife, whatever, your best friend, whatever. But no, your friends, the people you interact with. Keep some things going in your life that are interesting. Be an interesting person. And again, being an interesting person means learning new things. Going out and finding new things in life to experience, learn about, become an expert at. Don't even have to become an expert at it. Just become knowledgeable at it. But that's a lot of the ways that we become undumb. You see, we have mental limitations. Everyone has limitations that are mental constructs in our mind. We're not good at this. We're not good at that. I'm good at, for example, all men are good drivers, right? Well, they think they are anyway. All men have good shoes and they have good ties. Women have great purses, and hair and whatever. There's just the preconceived mental aspects of who you are and your perception of who you are in the world. That is who we are. You also have mental limitations of who you aren't. Well, I'm not good at that. Electronics, I can't do that. I don't know anything about electronics. Board games, I can't play board games. I'm no good at that. Trivia, God, I'm the worst at it. It's those mental perceptions of who you are, and you keep reinforcing those perceptions. It's been said, what is easier to change, reality or perception? Well, it's easier to change reality because perceptions are ingrained. They're stuck. when you get those perceptions of who you are and who other people are, or situations, they're ingrained. They're hard to remove, hard to change. You have to be open-minded. Becoming undumb. I'm just going to go with that title. I mean, I guess that's what it is. The title of this podcast is Undumb. Okay. Just because, I don't know, it just made sense to me, I guess, on some, binary level. I don't know. But anyway, to become undumb, you've got to branch out. You got to learn from other people. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Get out of it. Learn new things. Meet new people. Variety is the spice of life. Enjoy it. It is just, again, it's the journey. They say that life is a journey, it's not a destination. Live in the now. You can't relive what you've done in the past. You can't live in the future. You can only live in the now. So the now is what makes you who you are. But learning broadens your reality of the now. I hope that makes sense. You're always living in the now. You choose to be happy, you choose to be sad. You have spent years in research and development to become who you are. Are you a finished product? Are you a finished product? Are you who you are because you're finished of all your years of research and development? Or do you continually strive to be better? Well, I hope that's who you are. I really do. Look, I can go different directions with this podcast right now, and go in different directions. But listen to me. Share this podcast with people. Share it with people that seem to be stuck, that are not really happy. Have them understand that they're not dumb. Some of the most uneducated people that I know are the smartest people that I know. Some of the most educated people I know are the dumbest people I've ever known. Differentiate yourself. Understand that if anything's ever been done in life, if someone's done it, you can do it. If it's capable, it's plausible, you can do it. All the way from success to the wealth that you, the riches and the wealth that you desire, you can have it. You really, really, really can. You got to get rid of those self-defeating habits, self-defeating limitations, mental barriers that you create, the constructs in your life that you create that are there. Listen, when beliefs, you start from a baby and discern. I know we've talked about this, but I just want to rehash. You start from a baby with your belief systems, and you learn them in strategic manners, from your parents, from the things you see on TV, from your friends at school, from everything. You develop beliefs, and the more that you develop beliefs, the more you strengthen those beliefs. See, here's the thing. Interesting study that goes along with belief systems is that they studied bettors at a racetrack that they were unsure of who to bet on. The next race is coming up. They're looking at their program, they're looking at their form, and they can't decide. And this one looks good, and this one won in the last race out, and this one runs good.